Who you're going to see next is William McDonough. There's almost no one in this room that doesn't have a thought about William McDonough. He's given us a lot. I think what you're going to see is a conversation, a new type of conversation happening after 30 years of discussion with different industries that are now able to say that they are part of a positive approach to a different world. Please welcome William McDonough.
What's next? What's next is what's next. I was at a conference of textile manufacturers showing their wares and their new textiles, and 150 new kinds of textiles, things that were grown from stem cells that grew on your body, things that could show your emotions, things that could light up, things that were batteries. And I asked all these people, what's next? And they would tell me that they would bring something even more amazing next year. And I said, no, stop. What's next for this thing you just brought us? Not one answer. And as I looked at the textile manufacturers and the apparel manufacturers there to study these, I said to the CEO, design is the first signal of human intention. When we discover that these materials are putting endocrine disruptors, persistent toxins, bioaccumulative substances into our mother's milk, in some cases as high as 2,500 synthetic chemicals in mother's milk. Is that our intention? Do we intend to do this to our daughters? So our grandchildren will be working with things like this? Is this our intention? Nature would never have done this. And if it's our intention, we might want to have to say it out loud. We intend to poison each other. Say it out loud if you're doing it. But if we don't intend to do it, why don't we say we intend to do something else? How about distribute health and well-being and intelligence and constant improvement? What is next? What is next is what's next. Let's think about what's next. And let's put that in. Buckminster Fuller had a very elegant phrase. He calls it anticipatory design science. What is next for we humans and our sciences? Are we interested in beauty and truth, as Jefferson in designing the rotunda at the University of Virginia? Or in mathematics and science, as he designed the pavilions on down each side of the lawn, the Aristotelian desire for rational thinking? Are we a rational species? Can you imagine a rational species saying, oh, let's toxify each other? Really? So what else do we need to know about the species and design? Well, we are now in the Anthropocene era. We're in the era where global change is caused by humans. Isn't that something? 99% of the large mammals on this planet are under human management. We can change the climate. We can put carbon in the oceans and acidify. We can drop out the bottom of the food chain if we want to. Whoa, well, is that our intention as a species? To trash the joint? If it is, we're doing great. If it's not it, what are we supposed to do now? What's next? Well, design is the first signal of human intention. So what is our intention? The people in this room have intentions. You're here. Thank you. It's Friday. This is not easy. I know that. But bravo, because everybody in this room has an intention. And if we look at the world and what our scientists tell us now, and we see this event occurring, 19,000 BC, 10,000 BC. By the way, keep your eye on Miami. 5,000 BC. Now. Oh, that little white thing up there. Oh, my goodness. And remember when Yuri Gagarin, the first human in space, returned and they opened the capsule. Oh, look, Miami. Goodbye, Miami. They opened the capsule and they said, so what was it like? And his eyes were big and he looked out and he said, it was blue. Yeah, it's going to be blue. And when we think about the Earth, we realize that the green is photosynthesis and the brown is ancient dirt, often has black ancient photosynthesis under it. And then there's blue, and the white is also the blue. And we need to have fun with this because this is a very beautiful place. And let's come back to this place today and say, what are we doing? And what if we said, let's think globally and act locally, but maybe we have a little more range right now necessary of our perceptions. What if we have to move to think galactically and act terrestrially? And if we look at the great science discoveries of the last century and we see E = mc squared, how many of you have done that formula? Anybody here done the math? Oh, well, why don't we do it this morning? You ready? E = mc squared. I was a kid, I grew up in Japan. I got to see Hiroshima when I was 5 years old. I always wanted to know how a city could disappear in an instant and why Einstein was afraid. And I realized that a tool only has value to the extent that we embed it with our intentions. A hammer's not a good or a bad. If I hit you with it, it's a bad. If I build you a house, it's a good. The hammer doesn't know. You know. Well, Einstein was afraid. Why? What does that formula tell us? The power of the nuclear reaction. Where's the number? It's C, 186,000 miles per second. I have a very small brain for these kinds of things. That sounds like about infinity to me. It's so big. Okay, and just in case it's not big enough, let's square it. Okay? So now we got C squared. That's about as big as I can think. And then, if M is therefore, mass, is in any way a positive number, as in one atom, then E is almost infinite. Goodbye, Hiroshima. That is the atom bomb. See? Now, that means that if we think of the joy of this discovery, then we could be nuclear powered. Absolutely. And we can suffer from the entropy of the sun as it releases those photons and sends them to us in 8 minutes, 93 million miles, and it's wireless, right? And we have 10,000 times more than we need to operate our system. Oh my goodness, what a gift. And that's physics. But look at E = mc squared. It's physics and chemistry because the M, the chemistry, is the Earth, and we don't have mass income. We have energy income. We should grow with that. But we don't have more mass coming. Occasional meteorite. But it's not raining phosphate. You know? Right. But this is just physics and chemistry. What's missing? What's negative entropy? If we burn the log and it all goes back to carbon in the atmosphere and minerals dispersing in water vapor, what are we supposed to do? What is the negative entropy? What is the aggregation of these beautiful things? Oh, well, guess what? The reason we can't find it in physics, it's biology. Isn't that something? It's the tree itself. And we call it the tree of life, of course. And so what's the design here? The design here is carbon in the soil. Oh, interesting. Isn't that something? And we can celebrate growth of our children and trees. And I watched this log burning in my dorm room at Dartmouth College in 1970. And I said, what is negative entropy? And then I realized it was the log. And I thought, if I'm ever become an architect, I'm going to design buildings like trees. What would that mean? See, we're not really that smart. We still hadn't, when I was in college, figured out how to put wheels on our luggage yet, you know? I mean, it took us 5,000 years to put wheels on our luggage. So we really aren't that smart. And if you said, let's design a building like a tree, what would I ask you to do? I'd like to ask you to design a building that makes oxygen, sequesters carbon, fixes nitrogen, distills water, provides habitat for hundreds of species, accrues solar energy as fuel, makes complex sugars in food, changes colors with the seasons, supports biodiversity, microclimates, and by the way, it can self-replicate.